You wake up, look outside, and the world's different. Overnight, every bit of ice on Earth, Antarctica, Greenland, glaciers, even your freezer, has melted. Gone. Just water now. What happens next? How does the planet cope, and could humanity survive? Let's dive into this crazy scenario and see what a world without ice looks like. First, the big picture. Earth's ice holds about 68% of its fresh water, 70 million cubic kilometers. If it all melts instantly, that water floods the oceans, raising sea levels by 70 meters. That's 230 feet, like a 20-story building. Coastal cities, New York, Tokyo, Mumbai, vanish underwater. Low-lying places like the Maldives or Bangladesh, completely gone. About 40% of people live near coasts, so billions are hit hard. Picture a stickman on a beach watching a wave swallow skyscrapers, his eyes wide as saucers. The chaos kicks off fast. Meltwater surges, flooding ports, roads, and power plants. Rivers like the Amazon or Nile burst, drowning inland cities. Imagine a stickman paddling a tiny raft through a flooded street, dodging floating cars. Emergency services can't keep up, and governments scramble to move millions. But where do you put billions of people when the coasts are gone? It's like trying to fit the whole world into a lifeboat. Now let's talk oceans. All that fresh water messes with their saltiness. Normally, salty currents like the Gulf Stream keep climate stable, like a global thermostat. Dilute them and it breaks. Europe, which stays warm thanks to the Gulf Stream, might freeze. Picture a stickman in London shivering in a parka during a July snowstorm, muttering, "This isn't right." Meanwhile, without ice reflecting sunlight, Earth soaks up more heat. The planet could warm by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, making deserts grow and heat waves brutal. A stickman in Dubai, sweating under a 50-degree sun, fans himself with a cactus. Ecosystems take a beating. Polar bears and penguins lose their homes as the Arctic and Antarctic turn to open water. Coral reefs drown in deeper, less salty seas. Fish, a key food source, die off as currents stall. On land, saltwater creeps into rivers, killing freshwater species. Farms near coasts fail as soil turns salty. Imagine a stickman farmer staring at dead crops, holding a useless watering can. Food shortages spark riots and supply chains collapse like a bad game of Jenga. But here's a twist. Some places might win. Central Canada or Siberia, now warmer, could grow crops like never before. The Arctic Ocean, ice-free, opens new shipping routes. Picture stickman sailing where icebreakers once chugged, waving at confused whales. Survivors might build new cities on higher ground, maybe even floating ones. Humans are stubborn. We've built dikes and skyscrapers before. But adapting would cost trillions, and not everyone would make it. Long-term, Earth keeps changing. Without ice's weight, the crust in places like Greenland rises, triggering quakes. Volcanoes might erupt as the planet shifts. A stickman in Iceland ducks as a new volcano spews ash, looking annoyed. The atmosphere, still full of CO2, traps heat, making cooling impossible without sci-fi fixes like geoengineering. Could we survive? Maybe. Rich nations might build seawalls or desalinate water, but poorer ones would struggle. A stickman in a flooded village, clinging to a rooftop, tells that story. Here's the wild part. This isn't pure fantasy. Ice is melting now. Greenland and Antarctica lose billions of tons yearly. By 2100, seas could rise 1 to 2 meters, flooding cities. This overnight melt shows what's at stake. Our stickman, standing on a new shoreline, looks at a submerged world and wonders, could we have stopped this? In the end, if all ice melted overnight, Earth would be unrecognizable, flooded, chaotic, but maybe adaptable. Centuries later, our descendants might tell tales of the Great Melt when the world changed forever. Let's hope we keep our feet dry.